Anger can be a useful emotion that encourages us to act. Used productively, it can help us to address a situation that we would prefer not to be in or that is harming us, because anger is typically a response to perceived threats or injustices against us or others. Understanding and accepting your own anger is key to be able to control it, because we all know what happens when we fail to control it. The anger takes over us, we see red, and we do or say things that we later come to regret. Or we waste our time and energy reminiscing about the past and being angry over situations that have already occurred, harming us even further. It's common to see people react, shout or fight out of anger, but does this ever actually solve anything? Is this ever actually beneficial to them? In this video, I'm going to explain why you must control your anger for the sake of your own mental health, how we can do so, and how we can actually benefit from it instead. Anger is a normal emotion that we can't ever just not feel, and nor should we suppress it. I'll talk about how it can be useful later in the video, but for now we need to understand why anger must be controlled. When your first response to a situation is to react out of anger, you are showing that you lack the maturity and emotional control to solve a situation. This is a sign of weakness, not strength, that ends up damaging our relationships, increasing our stress levels, and overall negatively impacting our lives for no other reason than our lack of control. If you want to actually improve and develop as a person, then being able to control your anger is a crucial skill. But why is it so hard to control ourselves when we are angry? And why do we usually end up making bad decisions that we later regret? It's because you're unable to think clearly. Your brain activates the fight or flight response in your body, which is why you feel adrenaline, you feel your chest go tight, and you feel your heart rate increase. This was crucial for our survival thousands of years ago, when not being killed and murdered was more important than logic and reason. But in our modern times, we don't face those life or death situations on a near daily basis anymore. So when you allow anger to linger for a moment more than is necessary, you can't think clearly anymore. You can't use logic and your intellect, and it's from those that we make our best decisions, the ones that usually benefit our lives, and the ones that we don't regret. Whatever you gain from being angry, you can gain far easier and with less consequences from being calm and rational. I like to think of it this way. The person who can't control their anger is always going to be controlled by things that they have no control over. They are giving other people and situations which they have no control over the power to ruin their own mental state. So overall, understand that uncontrolled anger is simply foolish, it will make you look stupid, and it will bring you serious health consequences in the long run. Controlling your anger can be done in different ways, but never should you suppress or deny it. Because like with any other negative emotion, this will backfire. And it's even worse with anger, because when you bottle it up, it will explosively release when you don't want it to. Now, knowing where anger is coming from and what it's useful for will help you to better understand and therefore control it. Usually we feel anger for a few main reasons. We feel threatened and in danger, we feel rejected, or we feel like an injustice has occurred. Basically, you're in a situation that you would prefer not to be in. In this way, anger gives us a signal that we need to address this situation, either by solving it or removing ourselves from it. So anger prepares us to take action, but it's not qualified to tell us how to do so. And so when you do get that signal from anger, you need to analyze it. And to analyze it, you can't be in that fight or flight state I mentioned earlier with adrenaline coursing through your body. A great way to avoid this is to simply take a step back, whether that is physically or mentally. Essentially, just do whatever you can and whatever's appropriate to detach from the situation. It really does help to take some deep, deliberate breaths and to stop talking, for example. And if you think that this will make you look weak or stupid in the middle of an argument, then the fact is that you're gonna look a hell of a lot more foolish if you instead lose your cool and start shouting. And just to be clear, this does not apply to those very rare situations where you really do need to take action straight away to protect yourself or others, but of course in 99% of cases, that isn't why most of us get angry. So you take that step back and you just pause. And in that pause, you tell yourself that you are in fact feeling angry. And since you're feeling angry, you are unable to make the best decision right now, no matter what that anger is trying to tell you. If you instead wait for 10 minutes, half an hour, or however long it takes for your body to go back to normal, then you can decide what to do, and if it's even worth being angry in the first place. Literally question your anger, asking it where it will be once you've made that rash decision, and once you're then sitting there regretting what you did. Because we know that anger will no longer be present. Now that is a short-term solution for those moments where you really need to cool down in the moment and not do something crazy or rash. But in the long term, you can actually learn to avoid feeling that anger in the first place in many of the situations that you previously would have. And this is done by changing your perceptions and beliefs. If you perceive someone insulting you as a threat, then you're more likely to get angry and start insulting and shouting at them back. But if you instead choose to perceive them as harmless, like a child throwing a tantrum, then you're far less likely to feel that anger. If you perceive someone else getting what you want instead of you getting it, then you're gonna feel like it was an injustice, and so you will feel angry. But if you instead choose to view the world as what it is, instead of what you want it to be, then you're gonna feel less angry in the long run. It's up to you to analyze your expectations and beliefs and decide whether they are actually rational and benefiting you. If you find that you have many regrets from moments where you know that you acted out of anger, then it's time to change your mindset, because the short-term solutions are not going to be enough. Do not just simply take deep breaths without actually addressing the root cause of your anger. Do not simply suppress your anger or distract yourself by doing different activities. Address the judgment you have that is causing your anger to arise. Because in the vast majority of cases, it is our irrational judgments of situations and not the situations or people themselves that is causing us to be angry. So change that irrational thought or judgment to a more rational one, and then you can make the decision which is best for you and which will benefit you without you needing to explode out of anger. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe for more advice.